So if you found this video, you may have heard about the NACA program and wondering what that is or what the details are. So I'm here to give you the realistic scoop on the pros and cons of this pretty awesome program. So NACA stands for Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, and they are actually a nonprofit community advocacy and homeownership organization. And their purchase program gets people really excited for some key major reasons. The first thing about the NACA purchase program is that there is no credit check involved. So that's a major win because credit is a huge barrier for people to getting pre-approved for a mortgage. So with NACA, they don't look at your credit at all. Another huge factor is that there is no down payment. Now, even though the standard 20% down payment that you may have heard of is not even a thing anymore, most people these days are putting down 3 to 5% for a home. But still, NACA gets rid of that barrier because, 3 to 5% is still a lot of money. There are still going to be some costs to buying a home, such as upfront costs like the cost of an inspection or some closing costs that are be due when you close on the home. But in general, if you use the NACA program, you're going to be bringing much less to the table than a person using a traditional loan. Another thing about the NACA purchase program is that it's going to give you a low interest rate mortgage, an interest rate that's significantly lower than some other traditional mortgages. And there's going to be no PMI. So PMI stands for Private Mortgage Insurance, and that's just an extra fee that gets tacked on to your monthly mortgage payment when you're putting less than 20% down, which most people are. But with NACA, there's no PMI at all. So the no PMI and the low interest rate are actually going to save you money over the life of the loan by reducing your monthly costs. So if you're thinking that sounds too good to be true, because it is pretty awesome, I'm not going to say it's too good to be true, but there are some challenges with the program. Like any program, there are going to be pros and cons. So I think the biggest thing that discourages people about the NACA program is that the process can take a very long time. And that's due to a number of reasons. So many clients get frustrated and they drop the process. So a couple of the things that cause the process to take a super long time. Number one, scheduling. The very first step is to attend the NACA homebuyer workshop, and those occur on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, something like that. But once you attend the workshop, then you get scheduled for your initial appointment. So hundreds of people are coming to these workshops, of course, because everybody wants to hear about the no down payment and the no credit check. So it could be months before you get your first appointment after you've attended the workshop. So that was my personal experience when I went through the NACA program myself. It took me 3 months to get to my first appointment. And then 9 times out of 10, at your first appointment, they're gonna ask you to do certain things and come back for a follow-up appointment, which could also be 3 to 6 months later. So that right there is already 9 months worth of time. So it does take a while to get your appointment scheduled. And that's just because they're working with so many people who are interested in this fantastic program. The other thing that makes the process take a long time is that because they're not looking at your credit at all, what they are looking at are your bank statements and your spending habits and how much you're saving. And so it's very possible that they'll look at everything you've given them and they'll say, we need you to save X amount of dollars every month for 6 months and then come back and show us that you were able to do that. So that's another place where people drop off because they don't want to alter their spending habits, they don't want to save the extra money, or life happens and they just fall off. And then at their next appointment, it's like, oh, well, you didn't do it, so another 6 months, do it again. So that can draw the process out. And then finally, a lack of timeliness on both sides, on the side of the client and on the side of the NACA counselor. So the NACA counselor is working with easily 50 to 100 different clients at a time. And so they're dealing with all these people's paperwork and they may not always be able to respond or get back to you in a super timely manner. But then when they do ask you for something, if the client is slow to provide the information, it takes you a day, 3 days, a week to get it back to them, then those types of communications are gonna draw the process out. You can overcome these challenges by being prompt and prepared. So make sure you check out my next video on tips for success with the NACA program for relevant strategies. Additionally, in a hot market like the Charlotte market, it can be challenging to buy an existing home when using any down payment assistance program, and NACA is no exception. So down payment assistance programs require you to jump through a lot of hoops, which in the seller's mind means that there are a lot of opportunities for the deal to fall apart, and they do not want that. So they might view an offer that doesn't depend on any special program to be a stronger offer. And also, down payment assistance programs require specific repairs to be completed in order for you to get the funds. And so the sellers may not want to make those needed repairs, and they are not legally required to. These challenges can be overcome by having a skilled real estate agent on your team who is familiar with the NACA process and who is great at negotiating. That's your girl. So yeah, overall, NACA is a fantastic program, and I urge anyone with time, patience, and discipline to give it a chance. So if you'd like to get started with the NACA program, you can go to their website to register for that home buyer workshop. Attending that workshop is the very first step. And then after you register for the workshop, visit my site to connect with me so that I can help you through the process. And remember, if you do decide to use NACA, to check out my next video on tips for success. But you should also know that NACA is not the only program out there. It's not your only option. There are a lot of other down payment assistance programs that do have the same look and feel as NACA. So if you're interested in learning more and you're ready to get into your first home, feel free to reach out.